The following video was taken by a woman while scattering ashes for her pet dog. The ashes sprinkled in the air actually formed the appearance of a puppy. After watching this video, they all said that the woman's pet was saying goodbye to him in some way. Do you agree more with netizens' opinions, or do you think this is a pure coincidence? When he got home from get off work, his father parked the car in front of the door and picked up the child he wanted to hug in front of him. However, I believe everyone has noticed that strange moment. When you want to put down your daughter in your arms, you are nearby. The backpack on the shoulder slips off in an unusual way. Or it's more like being pulled out. But there is no one else next to you. What do you think is going on? Haunted. What thoughts will arise in your mind if you suddenly see something difficult to explain when driving at night? At the moment of driving at high speed, a human-shaped white thing appeared beside the dark road. It is said that the video was filmed at about 3 in the morning, and the road was so quiet that it made people feel very strange. Even if it is not a real ghost, or a ghost, it may scare those passersby who lead alone. However, according to the camera passing by that moment, the photographer felt that the appearance was really similar to the fruit ghost. Alone at night, passing through the alley, it always makes people frightened. Because you don't know what kind of weird uncle you will encounter in it. This netizen encountered such a strange thing. Fortunately, he had not yet entered the alley. When looking inside, you can see an uncle walking forward with a bag. However, gradually netizens discovered something wrong. The part above the uncle's neck is gone. This is not because the head is invisible, because there is another location of the light. The uncle's head did not block the iron pillar. If there is no light in the alley, wait until you get close enough to find out. I guess I'll be scared to death. Chris Bath's house, shot by body camera. Before this investigation, the murderer Chris had killed his pregnant wife and 2 daughters. However, this video captured the victim in this room. Have you noticed it? 2 policemen just entered the house, and the figure of the child ran down the stairs. But it's very vague, and it disappeared when it ran to the middle of the stairs. Another weird thing is in the mirror. Is this figure in the lower right corner the policeman or the murderer's wife? If that figure belongs to the policeman, so why did he return to that position again? Didn't the figure appear in the mirror? After discovering that the things in the car were stolen, the owner looked through the surveillance records the night before yesterday. Apart from finding the thief, he also found ghosts wandering on the streets. Hey man, why all check out across the street, watch this light, come on, before this nigga come in my yard, watch this, why all try to explain this to me, look at this light, come on, why all. Now when I did look at that shadow, right there, look what the fuck is that? Look why all see that he just stopped right there, look now, here come buddy, look. Look at that across the street, look. Why this? You crossed the street? What the f*** is that? Hey man, I check out across the street. Watch this light. The black shadow on the opposite sidewalk. Seeing the thief crawling into the car. Stealing money. He stopped and walked back, then chased the fleeing thief. Even the vague figure cannot directly indicate that it is a ghost. The thief's blatant burglary at least proves that he cannot see it with his naked eyes. But the most puzzling thing is why he was chasing the thief. A black mother said that she suddenly heard a sound in the room in her sleep last night. So she waited until the next day while she was confused and immediately thought that the room was monitored, and she couldn't wait to observe it. At some point, a short white shadow suddenly flashed on the floor beside the bed. Then, after moving a few steps, it disappeared inexplicably. At the same time, the mother also said that her family did not raise kittens or puppies, and also explained that her mother-in-law had just passed away. So while she could not explain, she guessed whether it was her mother-in-law's ghost who came back to visit her family. Is that? A South American resident saw a suspicious figure when he saw it at night. He plans to use his mobile phone to capture what the other person does. But the next second he finally knew what's sneaky. A white shadow suddenly appeared in the picture and walked towards the man. Then he passed through the other person's body, although the pedestrian suddenly turned around in front of the camera. But this is because he still noticed something strange about his body when he noticed the camera. Netizens jumped to the river view under the bridge and took this video. Something weird is unknown. I don't know if you have discovered it. When the camera draws closer and turns to Joe Dunn, a long white hair appears on the screen, floating in the sky, although some netizens may guess that it is the color of the piers themselves. But while the lens moves, you'll see that figure move along with it. And when the camera returns to that position, it even disappeared. Did this netizen accidentally capture the undead who jumped into a bridge and committed suicide? Before going to bed, The owner checked the situation through monitoring at the door. He was frightened by a door as he walked past the door. Is it because of insufficient light that looks gone? When the girl returned home at night, the hidden cave door was approaching and reminded her family to open the door for her and to see the child safely arrive home and to do something happy about the incident. But the surveillance camera at the door captured a strange figure and followed him to the door. Shortly after the girl entered the door, a figure suddenly appeared on the road and was beaten around the bush and then reached the door. But I believe that what made the girl's family uneasy at this time was not the other party's purpose, but they were devilish. Even if not, the figure floating in the picture is enough to make people feel cold several times more. The driver drove the car across a quiet road. What is puzzling is that when passing through a certain section of the road, the onboard camera at that time captured something suspected to be a ghost in an instant. The flashing shot seemed to capture a translucent woman who looked like she was blind and stood on the instruction line without moving. Fortunately, the place she stayed at was not in the driving lane, otherwise it would be difficult to take measures at such a fast speed. If it is not a so-called ghost, the consequence may be waiting for the ambulance to arrive. So for this death-seeking thing, do you think it is a human or a ghost? Driving on the road at night. The man at the co-pilot's business has been photographing the scenery along the way. But what happened next was, he stopped shooting in fear. On the empty road, I met other vehicles. Don't you know why? They speed up to catch up. I saw that no one was driving the car. Later I found out that I was in the car. No one at all. This made them feel chilled. The video ends here. But today, due to the autonomous driving technology, this phenomenon seems to be nothing strange. But the model of the automatic empty car is old and does not look like it is equipped with automatic driving functions. What do you think about this? Japanese Santa blogger came alone late at night and was called. Supernatural surveys are conducted in psychic locations in Russian hospitals. The hospital was abandoned after World War II. It is now a ruin. Blogger walks around the building with a signal detector. Finally, a closed iron door caused him to shut up. During the period when approaching the iron gate, the machine suddenly received a strong encounter. Is anyone there? It has radiation in the room behind the iron gate. There are still some things in the underworld that are moving. Anyway, the unusual situation made the blogger decide that it was time to end the investigation. However, whether it is over at this time is no longer the final say of whether it is over. After the channel owner returned to the car, summary of the investigation that night. Although the picture does not look abnormal, but if you study it carefully, some things will definitely make you think about it carefully. I don't know if anyone has discovered his existence. The person in the back seat probably came from the ruins. As for whether he followed Boga home, we don't know. In front of a resident's house, the surveillance video at that time suspected to have captured something considered a ghost. When the owner found out, his goosebumps were immediately combed. There was a long white ghost that suddenly floated around in front of the house. Perhaps because he was tired of floating, he suddenly fell, disappeared. The sharer immediately explained when he found out. His wall recording monitoring is intelligent. When an object is detected to move, it will shift according to the direction of movement. So while it is unexplainable, he was afraid of it and thought it was a ghost or a ghost. The following is a surveillance video clip from a family's home, when the owner of the household found some clues when he found this video. If you don't look closely, it is easy to ignore it. There are subtle changes in light and shadow on the nation wooden door outside the living room. It seems like a black shadow moves from left to right, because I can't find any object that can produce that black shadow. So the Guardian believes that the camera records the ghost. When organizing shelves at a convenience store at night, a staff member took this weird video. The sensing door on that side suddenly opened. However, no one nearby, just when it's about to be closed. The sensor detected the signal again, but this time the door on the outside was also closed. Staff suspected. Maybe there are spirits wandering near the door. Finally left the store. The woman who woke up from hunger at night came to the kitchen to find food, and the open back door next to her attracted her attention. The woman didn't take care at that time and turned it off directly. After checking the surveillance video, she realized that she was afraid. The head hidden in the dark. It was clearly seen the moment the light was turned on. Maybe I noticed someone was walking towards the kitchen. The creature outside the door hurriedly hid. adjusted by screen, you can see that it looks like an alien face. If so, what is his purpose in doing this? On a quiet road, the photographer walked more and more and more and more and more and more. He felt that it was strange in front of him. He stopped immediately while feeling horrified. Begin to observe from a distance. Under the street light, there was a strange figure. If you zoom in and look closely, it would be like a woman wearing a white long dress and her long hair draped on her chest. Then she faced the photographer and stood there quietly. At the same time, at some point, he inexplicably raised his little feet. Maybe he had a lot of mosquitoes or stood for a long time and felt his feet sore in an instant. This way, he could relieve it. So, as a woman, don't dress up like this for pranks or other reasons and appear in such a radical environment. If you don't pay attention, you may scare those passersby who leave alone. The supernatural investigation team was exploring spirits in a haunted house, hearing footsteps from the stairs. However, when they checked it in the past, no abnormalities were found. However, the fixed point information has helped them retain evidence. It can be found that before the investigators arrived, there was indeed a personal shadow coming to the stairs and disappeared soon after. Where do you think the disappearing coins have gone? Let us take a look at this advertisement shot in 1981. Make another comment. Have you noticed the problem with this video? Do you think the spokesperson in the advertisement is Taylor Swift? But Taylor was born in 1989, which is 8 years away from the time of shooting of the advertisement. Although some people think that it just looks similar, some people inevitably suspect that it is Taylor himself. Maybe he is a time traveler. What do you think about this? The man explained that that night, his friend decided to come to the house for the night. When he came to see him again, he sent the layout of the room to his friend through recording, but when he passed by a certain room, suddenly he frightened. It was like a tall black shadow wearing a hat standing in that dark room. This scene instantly scared the man back several steps. After he let out a long breath, he walked over to check it carefully. But strangely, when he turned on the light, the black shadow just now disappeared. Is that black shadow the guardian of this house? Recently, a driver in South America put down the guest at night, hearing the rushing footsteps in the darkness where no one is around. In horror, it looked around and turned out to be in the alley next to it. A car ran out of the baby-sized black figures one after another, and then crawled into the grass on the other side and disappeared. Due to the lighting, the camera did not take pictures of the dark shadows. But what is certain is that they are definitely not human babies. After all, those black shadows were flying. The driver guessed that he must have seen a legendary creature like Goblin. The following video was taken by a patient. When he noticed a blurry figure standing at the door of the ward, he recorded it with his mobile phone as soon as possible, and immediately woke up the family around you. But when the lens returns to that position again, the strange figure disappeared. What is curious is, should the figure at the door visit the disease? Photographing the doll room in the room, some abnormalities have occurred. Can you find it? Some viewers may think this is a coincidence, but the photographer said that he did not only shoot this part. Different dolls, same subtle movement of arms. On a stormy night, a driver took the video. It was raining outside the window with heavy rain and strong winds. The power was out of the future. The picture fell into darkness. The only light source comes from a few headlights in the Western Digital. Suddenly, a flash of lightning fell, illuminating half of the sky. It was at this moment you can see a giant figure appearing in the air. Compare the scene before the darkness. You can know that it is not the shadow of trees or streetlights. There are no similar giant buildings nearby. Will some kind of unknown behemoth floating in the air be some kind of unknown beast? The incident happened on a toll road. The man said that the recorder in the car captured a ghost. Come and see if he lies. As you can see, A white and transparent ghost rose from the windshield and disappeared in an instant. Some people think it is a real ghost, but some people think it may be just a wisp of white smoke. The environment at that time was dark, so it naturally made people think it was a supernatural picture. What do you think? Netizens were exploring the ruins and saw a strange humanoid creature lying on the pile of stones. But that doesn't he look like a human at all. The white and hairless skin covers the whole body and has a human appearance. It seems to be a mysterious creature like Rick. According to online information, they would track the victims when they were angry and kill them at night in the woods or in the victim's house. For safety reasons, netizens turned around and left quietly. After running for a while, netizens thought they had already thrown away the monster. Unexpectedly, the other party suddenly rushed out and rushed towards it. Similar encounters also happened to other explorers. Do you believe that a mysterious creature like Rick really exists? Two men drove home at night and were stopped by a strange woman. Long-haired woman in black clothes stands in the middle of the road. The car is getting closer. She walked in a weird posture, but suddenly stopped and looked back and kowtowed. Start moving backwards towards the car. The most thrilling thing is, he looked like he turned his head 180 degrees. The last ghostly woman disappeared in front of the man. But is this video real? I believe the screen effect has given you the answer. A blogger took the video while heading to an abandoned house in the woods at night. As he was about to approach the entrance of the house, he turned on the strong light to check the darkness ahead. At this moment, A blurred and translucent figure appeared from the grass on the right. Walking to the other side, the man was shocked and the picture swayed wildly. He thought he was a homeless man. When he came to the position whereby Ing disappeared, his hair was standing upright suddenly. There was a dead end in front of him. Bai Ying seemed to have entered through the wall. That house. A man in Thailand. A video of a cat in the yard. And shared online, unintentionally attracted a large number of comments from netizens. The photographer seems to be too focused on the cat. Ignore what is running by quickly in the distance. He seems to have long hair, wearing yellow clothes. However, it is a big difference from the outline of the human body. What exactly is he? Have friends who work night shifts ever encountered strange things while taking a bus? There was a video on the internet recently. The photographer is a night shift worker. As usual, he is going to work by bus. As a result, I was waiting for the bus. A person sitting opposite him who was suspected to be waiting for the car. This made him feel that he was not so lonely. Even a little heartwarming. Take a photo quietly with your mobile phone. But what happened next? He was so scared that he almost couldn't get into work. Although it was late at night, there was no way to die on the road. Suddenly, one of the cars drove by quickly, and the man at the opposite station disappeared instantly. It was definitely impossible to get in the car, and it was too late to hide after stopping. Tajujing Shunana? Recently, a woman found out that she had slept with her boyfriend for a night. The next morning she woke up and felt sore all over, but she had no idea what had happened. Even her boyfriend looked confused, so the woman set up a fixed camera in the bedroom. When the woman saw the incident, she found out that her boyfriend was. My boyfriend really knew nothing, and he was all trying to do it unconsciously. Maybe some people just think this is sleepwalking, but if so, what are the ripped quilts and flashing lights like malfunctions? If this is not a supernatural phenomenon, then it is worth exploring why he only does these things by the bed. Actions? Is it because I repeat them too many times before going to bed? The man shared a paragraph on his account. A strange video captured by his surveillance. It seems that a floating ghost was photographed. There's a white rectangular object. It stretched out from the ground, floated in the air, and then disappeared into the picture. At present, this user is not sure what it is. He felt very strange and uploaded the video to TikTok. Please ask for comments from netizens. What do you think will that object be? Is it a ghost, or is there a surveillance fault? Welcome to leave a message to discuss. This terrible video was filmed in 2005. The video was displayed. Two men record an abandoned factory. According to his explanation, they didn't come here to explore. But while it's late at night, prepare to steal the children's iron inside for sale. But in the end, they were scared. Escape from the butt. Through the light, you can see a white figure standing in the opposite room. The man looked closely and frightened him and ran away from this place immediately. Maybe it's because they re-panic after all. They re-here to steal the iron, and they dare not go back and see it clearly. So what do you think this white figure will be? Leave your answer in the comment section. A man named Hussein Rahman shared a horror video on YouTube. According to his explanation, he talked about ghost teasing. Let us see if it is true. The man explained that this was a real picture and was not produced by posing. At the same time, he insisted that there were ghosts in his family. I don't know if you can see what it is. Knock down the chair and close the door. Is it really a ghost? I'll call you. 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 I'll call you.